everybody, Paramoto here. How are you guys doing today? Today I am doing fantastic, and I hope you guys are too. Guys, if you haven't already, please make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button down below. It helps me out a ton. With that being said, let's get to today's Topic Tuesday. So guys, the topic that I want to talk about today is the death of the R6 and the possible rebirth of the Yamaha brand new, not yet officially announced yet, Yamaha R6. I have speculated along with a lot of other people that the 600cc, the middleweight class of superbikes, has been literally stagnant, dying, waiting for the death nail to finally be officially nailed into its coffin. So for example, the CBR 600 was canceled several years ago. Either the sales from the Honda 600cc class were so poor, or they just made so many of them. We have seen brand new model years of the CBR 600, even though they stopped making them years ago. They just have a ton of parts left over in a warehouse somewhere, and every other year they just put a new sticker set on them and just slap it out the door as a 2021 or 22 model. Yamaha put the death nail in the R6 in 2021. It was the first year in decades that we didn't see an R6 model in Yamaha's 2021 lineup. And it's kind of bummed a lot of us sport bike enthusiasts out, because I mean, honestly, I kind of always wanted to own one. Like, I love that, like 2013-ish range of R6, and like forward to like 2018, I think, are some of my absolute favorite motorcycles. Like I said, it's bummed a lot of us out to see the death of the R6. A lot of us like had that as our dream bike. A lot of us looked up to that bike for a long time when we were getting into motorcycles. I personally always wanted to have a Yamaha R6. I just never got around to owning one. I just had two CBRs instead. CBRs are good bikes, you know, whatever. I'm happy with my decisions I made at the time. I would love to have a Yamaha R6 one day, and it looks like that day might have passed. I mean, it's kind of sad. So there is some positivity to be had here, though. Certain sources have leaked that Yamaha has applied for certain DOT certifications for a 689cc motorcycle, and most sources are saying that that is going to be the R7, which is super cool. Seeing this general shift towards bigger CC displacement motorcycles from the beginner CC class and up, and I really wouldn't be surprised if we got an R7 coming our way soon. So guys, I know it's all speculation right now, but there is some market data that would suggest that an R7 is entirely possible. You know, you got Ducati here being the perennial champion of the super middleweight class, always having like a 7, 8, or 900cc motorcycle that fits right in between that lineup, and right underneath their main flagship motorcycles like the V4, the 12, and our 1199. I'm a big fan of those bikes right now because I'm on a 959. Aprilia's got their Tuono 660, so you got a super middleweight coming from Aprilia. And then you got, you know, Yamaha's always been kind of like that cheater with like the 636, and they've had that like on and off for like damn near 20 years now. So there is a lot of market data behind the fact that super middleweight bikes sell. People that just don't really quite want to pull the trigger on the leader bike, but you know, don't really want to go all that way, but they still want something better than a 600. So I think it's a good point to say that an R7 would most likely be totally possible. Totally possible, and also totally plausible from one of the largest motorcycle manufacturers out there. So there's been some very exciting renderings actually posted online, and like I'll put some up now just to show you guys that there's some amazing renderings of what this bike could look like. There's some heavy speculation that the power plant is going to be literally brought straight over from the MT series. You're talking about having a large CC displacement twin engine inside of a sport bike. Wow, crazy. Who would think about doing something like that? That will never sell. In a sport bike? No way! No consensus right now, which there is very little, is that the MT-07 engine is going to be brought over to the R7. So you're going to have a large CC displacement, twin cylinder motorcycle put into a brand new sport bike platform that's most likely going to have to be redesigned from the ground up. Crazy! I've heard talk, and this is all talk, you know, rumor mill, but that the MT-07 engine is capable of being tuned to somewhere around 150 horsepower. 150 horsepower in a middleweight. That's super exciting. 150 horsepower in a torquey twin cylinder motorcycle. It's so funny how the motorcycle industry comes in full circle. You know, like Suzuki's had the GSX-R 750 for like ages, and like a lot of people liked it You know, but then like a lot of people are like, why wouldn't you just get the 600, or like why wouldn't you just get the 1000? You know, like why would you want to like stop right in the middle? And then like the motorcycle industry 10 years later is just like, let's all go super middleweight. It's funny, it's crazy, I love it. I love the shakeup of everything. I love seeing new motorcycle designs. I'm sad to see the R6 go, but it just seems like the scales are just being tipped to higher CC displacement motorcycles. That makes me happy. Ducati is perfectly situated in this emerging super middleweight market because as long as I've been a fan, they've always had, you know, a 959, an 899, you know, they've had the 700s, you know, they've always had a good, solidly performing middleweight motorcycle. And that's really where we're seeing everybody going, is having a flagship bike, a super middleweight bike. So it makes perfect sense that Yamaha would jump on the bandwagon and get an R7. I'd love to see Kawasaki's answer, because Kawasaki is always that wild card, you know. They're like, oh yeah, we might not have the fastest 1000cc sport bike, but we're just gonna throw a supercharger on the same engine, put it out in a new motorcycle and call it the H2. You know, like what? You're gonna put a supercharger on a motorcycle? 200 horse? What? And then with their middleweight entries, you know, the 636, you know, like, you know, you're just gonna put an extra 36 cc's? You can't do that. Love it. I love Kawasaki. I love how they're always the perennial wild card. It'd be so cool to me because I'm a big Kawasaki fan. My first motorcycle was a Kawasaki. I almost got an R6, but I just happened to walk into a Honda dealership first. Kawasaki will always have a soft spot. You know, I'll always have a tender spot for Kawasaki because my first motorcycle was a Kawasaki Ninja 300. I really, when I got into motorcycles, I was watching a lot of Ninja 250 videos, you know, like Rebel Yell 91. I love you, bro. You know, I never got a 636. It just, the stars never aligned for me to get a 636. But I would love to see Kawasaki's answer to this, to be like, oh yeah, for the 2023 model year, we're just gonna go ahead and release a 737. You know, the 636 is dead, 737, and it'll be like, Yamaha, F your face, you know? You know, like, this all being speculation aside, what's not speculation is that the new sport bike market is being shaken up, and we're gonna be able to expect a lot of fun new things from them. You know, like, you don't just release an R7 and like the industry just doesn't respond. They're gonna respond. They have to. To stay competitive, they're gonna have to. So you're gonna see Aprilia step up their game. You might see Ducati step up their game a little bit too, even though they're kind of, you know, like the markets for the R7 and for like the V2 are totally different markets, I believe. But that's not good or bad. That's not me being a Ducati fanboy or anything. But you don't see the rest of the market not responding, especially the Japanese market. The Japanese market is gonna have to respond. Honda's gonna have to respond. You know, everybody's gonna have to do something different now, which is, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be super fun. What if like Honda's canceled middleweight class comes back with a vengeance? What if there's like a Fireblade Light that comes out? You know, like the possibilities are truly endless. They're numerous, they're endless, and they're super exciting. I don't know of another market that can change so rapidly, you know, like over a course of 1 or 2 years as like the motorcycle market. Like especially, you know, like how it's broken down in like 600,000, you know, like these markets could change and just flip on like the drop of Lamborghini Urus, on like the drop of a dime, and it's super fun. Honda could totally just, you know, redo their entire lineup in like a couple of years. It's almost like being in the NFL, where like any team can go from like 32nd to like Super Bowl champs in a couple of years with some good decision making. You know, it's the same thing with the motorcycle market. Like, it doesn't take that much for, you know, any company to totally reinvigorate their entire brand, you know, and it's so exciting. It's so exciting. I'm super excited for new fun things. So end of the story, we're getting close to my destination. RIP R6, hello R7. I can't wait to meet you. If you haven't already, please make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button down below. It helps me out so much in the YouTube algorithm. Let's grow this channel together going into season 4. And you know what? Let's make 2021 the best year on this channel. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Deuce.